Hi everyone, welcome to ENbreezEN, the daily news analysis program from Team and Light. Today we'll be discussing five topics. First topic is India-Italy relations. So this is an international relation topic that is important for your GS2 preparation. So we'll be discussing the evolution of India-Italy relation as well as the India-Japan-Italy trilateral. Second topic is production linked incentive scheme. So facts about this scheme is important with respect to your prelims as well as we'll be discussing some of the aspect that is important with respect to your mains preparation as well. The third topic is regarding a concept called space tourism. So this will be discussed in a mains perspective. The fourth topic is wage rate index. That is an economy topic that we'll be discussing this concept in a prelims point of view. Then there are the next topic is regarding certain monuments which were in news recently. So the first one is Kesaria Buddha stupa, and the second one is Puri Jagannadh Temple. So this will be discussed in a prelims point of view. Okay, so we'll start with the India-Italy relations. So with respect to India-Italy relations, we'll be looking at the major areas of cooperation and potential as well as the challenges. So keep in mind that this was in news, this article was in news, and this article discusses the importance of India-Italy-Japan trilateral. Okay, India-Italy, Japan trilateral, and its importance with respect to India's Indo-Pacific strategy. Okay, so with respect to India-Italy relations, India has been having even economic relations with Italy. Even during the ancient time, we had trade relations with the Roman Empire as well. Okay. However, the political relations in the modern phase started since 1947. Okay. Then we'll discuss the major areas of cooperation and the potential that India-Italy relations are having. Okay. So, in terms of economic cooperation, keep in mind that Italy is the fifth largest trading partner of India in the European Union bloc, and also know that balance of trade between India and Italy is favoring India. Okay. Also, there has been an institution called the Joint Commission for Economic Cooperation between India and Italy, and its 21st summit has been conducted recently. So, certain initiatives have been introduced in this 21st summit. So, just go through what are those initiatives, which will also be helpful in mains preparation. Another important area of cooperation is the science and technology cooperation. So these two countries are having an agreement on science and technology cooperation since 1978. So there have been cooperation with respect to space research between both these countries. For example, you can say that there was a thematic working group that is working on the topic heliophysics with cooperation between both the Indian as well as the Italian Space Agency. Okay. Another important aspect is the cultural cooperation. So there is an agreement on cultural cooperation that has been in place since 1976, and there are regular cultural exchange programs that is being conducted. And also, Italy is a country in the European Union which is having the second largest diaspora, second largest Indian diaspora in European Union. Okay. Also, there is a counter-terrorism cooperation mechanism in the form of a joint working group between India and Italy. Also, there is cooperation in international fora such as the International Solar Alliance, of which Italy is a part of. Again, both these countries are cooperating in with respect to Paris Climate Agreement, as well as forums such as G20. Also, note that recently Italy is having a close relations, have improved its relations with respect to ASEAN as well as the Indian Ocean Rim Association. Okay, so that is also important for India. Again, there has been cooperation with respect to sharing of COVID relief between these two countries. Okay, so these are the major areas of cooperation. Now, what are the challenges? So, one important challenge is regarding the trade agreement. So, European Union and India have been negotiating what is called a bilateral trade and investment agreement since the last 11 years. So, since it has not yet been finalized, so this is actually a hindrance with respect to India-Italy economic relations. Okay. Another important aspect is the Belt and Road initiative of China, of which Italy is a part of. So this Chinese influence is also an irritant in India-Italy relation. Another important thing is regarding the Enrica Lexi case, of which India and Italy were parties of. Okay, and this issue was also a very politically important issue in India, and this is also a cause of or a challenge with respect to India-Italy relations. Okay, now we'll move on to what is the India, Italy, Japan trilateral. So, this trilateral was introduced in June 2021. Again, Italy is the second European country after France to have a trilateral summit with India. Okay, so what is the potential of this summit? First thing is that it can help India to strengthen its relation with the European Union. Next is regarding the G20 leadership transfer. So Italy is the 2021 president of G20, and India will be the 2023 president of G20. So hence, both these countries are being presidents of G20 in in these recent years. Both these countries have the scope to work together for their common goals. So that is also a potential factor with respect to this trilateral. Okay. Again, another important aspect is regarding the post-COVID, post-COVID scenario. So, with respect to the global supply chains, countries are more and more moving away from supply chains that are dependent on China. So, in this scenario, India, Italy, and Japan can coordinate towards reorganizing a global supply chains. Okay. Also, these countries are having common views with respect to a rules-based multipolar or multilateral global order. Okay, so that is also a point of coherence these three countries are having. Again, with respect to security, there is scope in working towards maritime security as well as anti-piracy operations. Okay, so these are some of the areas of potential that this trilateral has. Again, now another important aspect with respect to mains you have to discuss is regarding the challenges. So one thing, as we have discussed earlier, is regarding the bilateral investment agreement between India and EU. Okay, so that can be a hindrance. In the relation between India, Italy, and Japan if it goes to an economic level. Okay. Again, we have to the three countries have to develop a strategic plan to with clear cut milestones for the better utilization of potential which these countries can offer. Okay. Another important aspect is regarding strengthening the relations between India and Italy. Again, Italy and Japan are very close partners, and the same is the case with India and Japan. Whereas Indian and Italy relations are not so much and are not so strengthened as we look as is the case between India and Japan or Italy and Japan. So there is a challenge of strengthening relations between India and Italy to unravel the potential of this trilateral. Okay, so this is a few things that you have to keep in mind with respect to mains preparation in the India, Italy, Japan trilateral. Okay, so we'll move on to the next topic, that is production linked incentive scheme. Okay, so this some fact of this scheme is important for prelims. And again, this scheme was in news because the PLI schemes, there has been certain issues with respect to implementation of this PLI scheme. Okay. So with respect to the scheme, so this is actually aimed at making Indian manufacturing globally competitive. Okay. So it has close link to the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative. Okay. Another important aspect. So what the scheme actually is, so the scheme aims at providing incentives on incremental sales for products which are manufactured in India over a base years. So, for example, if you're taking a scheme, see, there is a scheme for mobile manufacturing and specified electronic components. So, in that scheme, so there are certain target components which are covered under the scheme, and incentives will be provided to companies uh, at a rate of 4% to 6%. So if there is an increment in sales in this manufacturing of these target components, these companies that manufacture these components will be provided with an incentive for a period of 5 years. So this is what this scheme is all about. Okay, again, you have to note that this scheme is not just focused on a single sector or a single ministry. So it covers a various strategic as well as sunrise sectors, and the respective ministries act as nodal organization. For example, in case of electronic manufacturing, we have MITI as the nodal organization, that is the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Okay, in the mains point of view, what you have to keep in mind is we have a topic called issues with respect to economic growth. Okay, so in terms of economic growth, there is the manufacturing is also an important aspect with respect to economic growth. So challenges with respect to developing a manufacturing sector in India can be asked in this topic, which is a topic in your GS2 syllabus. Okay, so look at the what are the implementational issues that PLI scheme is facing, and also look into the aspect of what are the major challenges faced by manufacturing sector in India. Okay, so keep that too in mind. Okay, so we'll move on to the next topic, that is space tourism. Okay, so recently there was a news that Richard Branson, he is an entrepreneur who is the owner of Virgin Galactic, which is a space tourism company. Okay, so with respect to space flight of Virgin Galactic company, this idea of space tourism was in news. Okay, so just keep in mind what this concept of space tourism is. Okay, so space tourism is actually the human travel to space for recreational purposes. Okay, so that is usually a space travel is attributed to scientific purposes, whereas in case of space tourism, it is not attributed to any kind of scientific purposes. It is for recreational purposes. Okay, so the current developments in this, if you're looking into the current development, so there are certain companies that are focusing on space tourism, such as the Blue Origin, SpaceX, Space Adventures, and of course the Virgin Galactic. Okay, and also keep in mind the spaceship used by Virgin Galactic for its space flight was VSS Unity spaceship. Okay, another related concept with respect to the space tourism that is seen in news is regarding something called the common line. Okay, so common line is something that is used to define space. Okay, so it is said that the common line is something that it is an imaginary line that exists at nearly 100 kilometers above the mean sea level. Okay, so at this point of space, at this place, the atmosphere becomes very thin, such that the normal or conventional aircraft may not be able to operate at this location. Okay, so that is the place where uh, space is said to have been defined. Okay, in the mains point of view, you can discuss two important aspects with respect to space tourism. One is regarding the scope of space tourism, and the other is the challenges associated with space tourism. So, with respect to the scope, we can say that it gives accessibility and awareness regarding space to common people, and it is also has a lot of scope with respect to investment, developing commercial enterprises, etc. Okay. In terms of challenges, the most important challenge is regarding climate change and space debris. Okay, so these can be the major challenges if there are improvements with respect to space tourism. Okay, so we'll move on to the next topic, that is wage rate index. So this is a concept in economy. So it was in news because the government has recently decided to revise the wage rate index. Okay, so what is wage rate and what is wage rate index? So wage rate is actually the amount of base wage paid to a worker per unit of time. Okay, if the work is measured in terms of output, it becomes the base wage paid to a worker per unit of output. Okay, now, what is the wage rate index? So, wage rate index is actually the relative change of wage rate over a period of time. So, this actually helps us in determining the impact of inflation that can happen on wages. Okay, so that is the reason why we use wage rate index. Okay, so in terms of wage rate index, so the changes that has been proposed as of now is that the base year of wage rate index will be revised from 1965 to 2019. Again, this wage rate index will be used to determine the statutory national floor level minimum wage. Okay, so the national floor level minimum wage is being statutorily, or it is mandatory as per the new labor codes. Okay. Again, there is a concept called national floor level minimum wage. So, what is the national floor level minimum wage? So, the national floor level minimum wage is introduced so that there is no disparity with respect to minimum wages in among different states. Okay, so this floor level minimum wage is a minimum level below which no state can set its minimum wage. Okay, so that is about wage rate index, wage rate, and the changes that are being introduced. Okay, so keep in mind what the concept wage rate index is and what wage rate actually means. Okay, so next we'll move on to our last topic, that is regarding the monuments that were in news. Okay, so the first monument is Kesaria Buddha Stupa. So this is a Buddhist stupa that is located in Champaran district of Bihar. Okay, so it was in news recently because of the floods that happened in this district, and it created a situation of waterlogging in this Buddhist stupa. So it can result in the degradation of this ancient monument. Okay, so that was the reason why it was in news. So it is located in Champaran, Bihar, and the time period. Okay, so this stupa it is said to have been built during the 3rd century BCE, and again renovations were also done during the age of Guptas. Okay, so it is said that the initial patrons of this stupa was the Mauryan dynasty, since we have also identified Ashokan pillar remains along with this Buddhist stupa. Okay, and again renovations were done in the current state during the Gupta dynasty's rule. Okay, another important aspect is regarding the the travelers Fahian and Huangsang have mentioned about this Buddhist stupa in their literary works. Okay, so keep that too in mind. Another important thing is that the locals of this area names this stupa as Devala, which translates to house of God. The next topic that we are discussing is regarding Puri Jagannadh Temple. So this temple is in Odisha. It was built during the 12th century by the Ganga dynasty king Anandavarman. Okay, so this temple is an example of Kalinga model of temple architecture, and it was in use because of the Rath Yatra, which is an annual festival of this temple. Okay, in the mains perspective, with respect to this monument, what you have to keep in mind is regarding the importance of protection of these monuments, the various characteristics with respect to different architectural styles, such as the Kalinga model of temple architecture, and also the significance of these ancient monuments with respect to reconstruction of history. Okay, since in 2020 it was asked what is the importance of rocket architecture with respect to studies of ancient history and art was asked. Okay, so in that case, it can also be asked about the significance of such monuments. Okay, so this is all about the topics that we have to discuss today. I hope it was a helpful session. So we'll be meeting again in next sessions. Thank you for watching.